Hi guys, today we're going to be learning about rational numbers, specifically adding and subtracting rational numbers. Here's the vocab page, and you guys can take notes on that. We're going to move on to the next page though. So a rational number. So a rational number is a number that can be written as a fraction or a ratio of two integers. So examples of this would be 3 over 4. This is a fraction. It's a ratio of two integers. Another example would be the number 5, because you can also write 5 as 5 over 1. Another example would be something that looks like this, 0.333, and it keeps just going on forever. That can be written as, that's the same thing as 1 over 3. So there's a lot of different types of rational numbers, and this is opposed to an irrational number, which is something that cannot be written as a fraction or a ratio of two integers. So probably the most famous example is the symbol pi, which stands for 3.14, and then the decimals keep going on forever, and there's no way to write this as a fraction. Also, another example of an irrational number is something like this, square root of 8. So the square root of anything that's not a perfect square is going to be an irrational number. There's no way to write this as a fraction. Those are just a couple examples of irrational numbers. There's many more. But now we're going to go straight into how to add rational numbers. So this is pretty much adding fractions is what we're going to be learning about right now. So in order to add rational numbers, you got to make sure that the denominators are equal. So if they are equal, then you only add the numerators, and you keep the same denominator. So let me give you guys an example of that. So let's say you have 1 over 4 plus 1 over 4. First thing we do is we check to see if the denominators are equal, and we see yes, they are both 4. So since these are both equal, then we go ahead and we add the numerators. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. And then we keep the same denominator. And then we can reduce this fraction to simplify our answer. And we see that I can divide the top and the bottom by 2. And that gives us, that reduces to 1 over 2. So the fraction 2 over 4 gets reduced to 1 over half. Both these answers are correct, but this is the more simplified answer. Let me give you one more example of adding rational numbers. Let's do 4 over 5 plus 3 over 5. So again, we first check if the denominators are equal, and they are. They're both 5. So now we add just the numerators. 4 plus 3 is 7 over 5. And this is what's called an improper fraction because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So we can convert this into a mixed number. And that would be 1 and 2/5. Alright, now let's go to subtracting rational numbers. So it's the exact same thing as adding rational numbers. You just check to see if the denominators are equal, and if they are, then you go ahead and subtract. So an example would be, let's do 2 over 3 minus 1 over 3. Both the denominators are the same. We subtract the numerators. 2 minus 1 is 1 over 3. And we are done. Now let's do one more example. Let's do 4 over 6 minus 2 over 6. And the denominators are equal. So we do just the top, which is 2 over 6. And you can reduce that. I'm going to divide both of these by 2. Divide that by 2. Divide that by 2. And we get 1 over 3 as the final answer. Alright, now, what if both the denominators are not equal? If they are not equal, then we have to make them equal. So, let's say you got an example like this. 2 over 3 plus 1 over 4. Right now, I cannot add these because the denominators are different. So I want to find a number that both 3 and 4 can go into. And so I do this by writing out the multiples of both 3 and 4. So if you do the multiples of 3, you get 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Right now I'm just adding 3's. And now I'm going to do the same thing with 4. So for 4, you got 4, 8, 12, 16. I'm just adding 4's together. I'm listing the multiples of 4. It's really bad, 16. So now we look for any numbers that they both share. And we say, oh, look, they both share a 12. So that means a 3 can go into 12, and a 4 can also go into 12. So that means I want to change both of these denominators into a 12. I want them to be equal so that I can add them. So that I can add the numerators. So I'm going to change this fraction right here, the 2 over 3. So I got 2 over 3, and I want to change that 3 into a 4. So I'm going to multiply the 3 times 4. I think I said that right. I want the denominator to be a 12. So I do 3 times 4, and that's going to get me 12. And if I do that to the bottom, I also got to do it to the top. And so my new fraction is 8 over 12. So 2 over 3 became 8 over 12. And now I'm going to do it with the 1 over 4 fraction. And so if I multiply 4 times 3, that'll get me 12. And if I do 1 times 3 to match the bottom, that gives me 3 over 12. So now I have two fractions, and they both have the same denominator. They both have a 12 at the bottom. So now I'm going to add these two fractions together to get my final answer. So 8 over 12 plus 3 over 12 is equal to 11 over 12. And that is the answer. So the original question was 2 over 3 plus 1 over 4. I changed both of these fractions. I changed this fraction into that. I changed this fraction into that. And then I added them together to get 11 over 12. And that is how you add together fractions with unlike denominators. And it's the exact same process for subtracting as well. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I will see you guys in class.